I mean, originally it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Remember, 2 weeks to flatten the curve? That was almost a year ago. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And now you've got things like, look, we found a mutant strain. We need to lock you down for 3 days. Well, what's that going to do? 3 days? 3 days of lockdown? I mean, wasn't it 14 days to stop transmission? So what is the purpose of a 3-day lockdown? Just to see if they can get away with it, just to see if you'll comply.
Is there a new Australian variant to the virus? I've seen a South African, a Californian, and of course the European. Do we have a new Australian variant? Can you confirm or deny?
I haven't heard this morning. I haven't looked yet. I've just been too busy answering emails and been getting calls and all sorts of stuff since I woke up, so I haven't had a chance to check any of the news feeds yet. But it wouldn't surprise me if they have. I mean, we've been told about a London strain and the South African strain, and I haven't heard of an Australian strain, but you never know. They're not going to. They're going to relax it and roll it out and relax it and roll it out. Just keep it going. Get you getting used to it. You know, they don't ever want it to go back to the good old days, if that's what you want to call it. Interesting, you could think of looking back to the good old days of the war on terror, you know. Now we've got the war on COVID. The war on terror is still here, of course, but the world was far better when it was just a war on terror. Then before the war on terror, we were looking back at the good old days to the war on drugs before that, you know. So what are we going to be looking back on next year as the good old days of COVID, you know? So, you know, a lot of people are realising it's not as difficult now to wake people up as what it was 12 months ago. And we've got the powers that be themselves to thank for that. So, yeah, I mean, I think just by being positive and getting out there and smiling and just having a conversation with people, you're going to find that that's really all you need to crack the shell with a lot of them now. And the ones that can't see it, well, they'll never see it. I mean, if there's people that still really believe this virus is real and they're running around paranoid, wearing their masks, there's probably nothing you can say to these people, and that's okay, because we don't need everybody to wake up. We just need the people who are awake to get a little bit of focus and to push back in the right way. The level of psychopathy it takes to do this, I mean, think about it. You know, these guys just, like with Fauci, you know, wear your mask, don't wear your mask, all this stuff. They're sitting there dictating all this stuff, knowing the amount of damage they're doing to people. It's absolutely incredible. And that's, I think, is what is waking a lot of people up. None of it makes sense. They're changing their own narrative so often. And this is what is causing people to wake up and see that it's all a scam. And many people are seeing it now. So, you know, I have a lot of faith in the fact that we're going to come through this. Once they can crash all this and move us into a digital world where you're getting your universal basic income, you're getting social credit points, it becomes even more controlling. So that's what all this is about. It's about control. And they want to basically harvest your emotional output. They want to be able to control every aspect of your lives and just play with us, have it like a people farm, and they've got everybody catalogued like chattels and livestock. That's what they're working towards, living a lie. And you know, once you realise that we're living a lie and the extent of that lie, you start to see where we've been led. They're doing it deliberately. We're living a lie.